Hey, what's happening, Roland? Well, today's Friday. It's actually the 2nd of June, and all kind of neat things are happening. A lot of good fishing going on. Hey, graduation for all my grandchildren, and a lot of interesting things. But first, I want to tell you my truck. I'm so happy with this new boat. This is my Nitro Z21. It's all wrapped with the O'Reilly and the Bass Pro Shop thing. And one thing that I wanted to mention, I'm an ambassador for the sport of fishing, and I go to the different stores, the O'Reilly stores, and I go to Bass Pro Shop stores. And one thing they want me to do is show up nice and clean and have everything spick and span, and I do that by using a green product. Now, this Booyah thing, I just want to tell you, there's a lot of ways to clean equipment. There's a lot of ways to. There's Starbrights. There's all kind of soap and water and detergents and stuff. But there's only one direct release green cleaner agent, and this is the Booyah Clean. What it is, it's certified by EPA for direct release. I can wash the boat right here, right in the water, directly release the chemicals in the water, and it's no harm to the fish, no harm to the environment. It's certified green. No other chemical can do that. No other cleaner can do that. So I'm into green. I'm into the green guy. You ought to think about that. Anyway, been some interesting things happening in the last couple of days. Old Sam Heaton, one of my good friends from the Keys, the Florida Keys. He lives over in the Vero Beach area. He called me the other day. He said, "Roland, there's a bunch of tarpon. There's all these tarpon in the backcountry. We're catching them right and left." So I go over there a couple of days ago with Sam, and it's, you notice there's a bad weather system right now. I mean, there's rain and there's wind. Right now, there's no wind. But when we got over to the coast, there was a lot of wind, and we were in a great big bay in the Stewart Inlet, and the whitecaps were there, and we didn't catch any tarpon. We didn't see any tarpon. It was just a washout. But then yesterday, let me just show you what happened yesterday. Yesterday, I filmed with my granddaughter Hilary. I see that you hear lightning. There's thunder and lightning right now. Got to be kind of careful. Anyway, I filmed with my granddaughter Hilary. She just graduated from high school, and look what we caught. Look at that beautiful bass. That's Hilary right here with almost about an 8-pound bass. We caught another one. That was the one she caught, these hyacinths, with the flipping a crawl worm. I'll show you that in a second. And I caught one just as big. Then we went to chatterbaits and caught a couple more, but we did a fantastic film. Now, also, if you notice Hilary, you can't see it now, but she's got a GoPro camera on. She does her own YouTube, just like I'm doing YouTubes. She's got 100,000 viewers right now, and she's only 18 years old. But the neat thing about Hilary that I'm so proud of is that she's been accepted on the fishing team for the University of Alabama. And Hilary, along with three other girls, she'll be fishing with a nice boat. Scott's got her a beautiful Skeeter boat, a beautiful setup, a beautiful Yamaha motor. I don't know what it is. Anyway, she's got her own boat, and she's really something. And yesterday, she really did a great job. She flipped that big one up. Now I just want to show you just what that flipping was entailed. What we had for flipping the deal is we had this new weight by this is actually a Spro. It's a Gamakatsu weight. It's a tungsten weight, okay, and that's 65-pound test braid. It's a double bobber stop deal, and it's that new hook. It's a new surgical hook on here. And what the neat thing about this whole setup is this. I just want to show you this real quick. Because of the concave bottom, and then when you're flipping a heavy cover like that you saw in that picture, you want the hook to be up every time. And so 100% of the time when you pull that thing up, it hits the concave bottom of that weight, and see the hook point goes up, not 99.9% of the time, but 100% of the time. 100% of the time the hook point's up. No matter what you do, hook point's up. Okay, this happens to be a Reactions Innovation Beaver, and that's what kind of we used yesterday. We're just hooking it through there. And this particular hook is a Gamakatsu hook. It's got that super good keeper on here now. Now I got that snell knot that I use that makes it rotate up. But this keeper, what you do when you pull that thing back into the bait itself and turn it, it just holds it in place, okay? Put the hook in there, and it's a new surgical steel that's stronger and lighter than anything else, but it's really strong. Okay, that's the storm's coming. I hope we don't get rained out. But anyway, what we were doing yesterday is we were looking at this picture again. Looking at that picture, they're all hyacinths there. And we're taking, like, say where those the purple branches, all that hyacinth, we're taking this weight, this happens to be a 1 ounce weight, and we're throwing it right to the edge, about 3 or 4 foot back in there. And we're throwing it back in there, and it's the water, this is all 5 foot deep, 6 foot deep. So that it's 3 or 4 foot deep, 5 foot deep underneath these bushes. That's all water back underneath all this stuff. So what you do, you don't go too far back. You just go to the edge of the grass, and you just kind of pitch it in like this. As soon as it's in the water, you just shake it through the thighs. I get this rod solid into my stomach like this, and I get it in a low position, and I jig it just 2 or 3 times, because what happens, these bass are pretty aggressive this time of year, and they'll hit right away. So the second you get a strike, boom, you better set the hook. And anyway, I caught a great big one, and she caught a great big one. Okay, that was the first thing. And so when I opened up the film, I said to the camera, we're on Headwaters. We're going to try a variety of different things. And another thing we're going to try is a chatterbait. I mentioned that chatterbait. And I want to tell you just a little bit about my chatterbait fishing. I use a 50-pound braid. This happens to be the 1/2 ounce jackhammer series. And I caught a couple beautiful bass on it yesterday. If you notice, it has just great action. If you can see it in the water, it's just super action. It just goes, well, look at the rod tip. It just goes real crazy. Anyway, this chatterbait, what I was doing yesterday is making nice long casts with it and just kind of slow rolling it. Well, slow rolling is nothing more than just going slow with it. In the spinnerbait world, so we talk about slow rolling a spinnerbait. It just means that the blades are going slow. With slow rolling a chatterbait, the same thing. Just kind of doing this. I kind of messed up. Now I'll tell you what happened. Hilary had been fishing Lake Okeechobee with her dad, Scott, my son, and they'd been fishing open water. And so what she had on for a chatterbait, she had 14-pound test fluorocarbon, which is a nice combination for just open water. Well, I have 50-pound braid, and the reason is Headwaters is nothing but a labyrinth of hydrilla. There's just tons of hydrilla all over the place, and so even though it looks open on top, when you just get it down just a couple feet, when you get the thing down a couple feet, you're ticking the top of that hydrilla. And here's the problem. And here's what happened yesterday. She put the chatterbait on. She used a black and blue, and bam, she catches a 3-pounder. Bam, she catches a 2-pounder. And I'm thinking, well, I said, what kind of pound test line do you have, Hilary? And she said, well, Granddaddy, I have 14-pound test fluorocarbon. I said, oh, that's a little light, but I guess it's all right. Then what happened? Let me just tell you what happened. She made a nice long cast out there, and so be it. A great big giant, probably 6 or 8 pounds at least, hit the chatterbait and dove down to the hydrilla and just got her all bogged up and got off. Okay. So that was my fault for not having her take this heavier rod. She had some rods with 50-pound braid, and all she would have had to do was just really crank into them and just pull them hard and just pull them out of that hydrilla with that 50-pound braid. Now, a lot of people criticize me. They say, Roland, you don't need 50-pound braid for a 4-pound fish. No, you don't need 50-pound braid for a 4-pound fish. But when that 4-pound fish gets around those logs or around that trailer, or around that dock, or around the hydrilla, hey, you need something to pull them out with. And that's the whole issue, is pulling them out. Now, you notice the rain is starting right now. How much time do we have?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. This is going to be kind of short-lived. But I just didn't want to tell you that Okeechobee is doing pretty good. It's kind of come back a little bit. Headwaters is just on fire. It's just not a better place. Another bolt of lightning over there. Headwaters is really doing good. And you know what I do on my guide parties, and what I kind of promote this time of year, we do a lot of fishing with topwater. So we started off yesterday with the frog, and let me just tell you what happened with the frog. I took this frog yesterday morning, and I just want to show you real quick before the rain hits. And I made a real long cast with it, and I'm watching it. It's in a little hydrilla hole, and I'm watching the water right by the frog. I watched the water real close, and all of a sudden I saw a swirl. I said, Hilary, a great big fish is underneath my plug. it swirled. And so I touched it like this, and this great big 6 or 8 pounder just sucked the frog down. I set the hook, and I missed him. So that was the end of that. I didn't catch one. So you do miss them on the frog, but the point is that when I fish the frog, how I catch so many fish is that when I make my cast, I'm watching for that swirl. I'm watching for that boil. I'm watching for that fish to come up underneath that plug, even though it hasn't hit it yet. He'll give away his presence. At that point, slow it down and give it that little bitty twitch at the last minute. That little bitty twitch, and that's when those big fish will just suck it down like a bluegill. Anyway, that was what happened yesterday. So we ended up making a fantastic film. I'm the best of luck to my granddaughter Hilary. She's going to be at the University of Alabama all next year, and I'm so happy that she's doing what she's doing. She is the most enthusiasm of any person I've ever been with. When she catches a fish, I don't care if it's a pound, she's yelling and screaming and really enjoying herself, and that's what it takes. Anyway, folks, hey, if you would, I think I've taught you a few things about how we fish this South Florida area, particularly now it's June, summertime. I'm hoping I taught you a few things and told you that the great fishing is available here on the Headwaters. And if you need more information on my guide services, you contact Judy M at fishingwithrolandmartin.com. That's how to get a hold of me. Hey, mash that likes button. We need all the likes, all the people at O'Reilly's, all the people at Favorite, all the people that are my sponsors. They love these likes. So just hit the likes button, sir. Thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon.